What is going on, guys? SteelTwins back at you with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers' initial 53-man roster. Today was the deadline at 4 p.m. Eastern. Today was the deadline to get the roster down to 53 men. Decisions were made. A lot of tough decisions were made. A lot of people lost their jobs, unfortunately, but this is the NFL, and it is a business. There were some surprises with those decisions. There were also some head-scratchers with those decisions, but at the same time, it's got you thinking, you know, Kevin Colbert may have something up his sleeve.
Yeah, because the initial 53-man roster is called the initial because it's not always the final one heading into week one.
No.
So we will discuss that after the intro, guys. We're going to start with the cuts, obviously, then head right into the initial 53-man roster. We are currently on Steelers.com reading the article that addresses the cuts that they made. Among the moves were releasing veteran punter Jordan Berry and long snapper Cameron Canaday, meaning rookie punter Presley Harvin III, thick boy,
Thankfully.
and long snapper Christian Kuntz both earned roster spots. So it is a new scene for Chris Boswell when it comes to special teams. In addition, the team released the following: wide receivers Rico Bussey and Cody White, running backs Trey Edmonds and Jalen Samuels, offensive linemen Rashad Coward, B.J. Finney, Chaz Green, and John LeGlue, tight end Kevin Rader, linebackers Cassius Marsh, Quincy Roche, and Jamar Watson, defensive backs Mark Gilbert, Arthur Millette, and Donovan Steiner. The team also placed quarterback Joshua Dobbs on the reserved/injured list. Dobbs was hurt in the team's final preseason game. The team will be able to sign a total of 16 players to the practice squad beginning Wednesday, September 1st. So among those releases are some pretty familiar names, such as Jalen Samuels. He might get a practice squad spot just because the Steelers like him.
And his experience with the team, too.
Right, but the weird thing is one name that was not part of that list was Benny Snell. So
Now,
the Steelers keep 4 running backs plus a fullback.
Yeah, Benny Snell somehow, some way, was still able to make it to this team.
Which we'll get into, but if they were going to keep 4 running backs, which I don't understand.
And I don't get and I don't agree with as of right now.
But if you're going to keep 4 running backs, why wouldn't you keep Samuels other than Snell? Because Snell hasn't really seen a lot of time in the preseason, and Samuels can actually catch out of the backfield and work special teams.
It's kind of a head-scratcher right there. But we'll talk about it, when we get to the 53-man roster.
Yeah, little thoughts there. But Rashad Coward, B.J. Finney, 2 guys we had making the initial 53 just because of their interior offensive line depth abilities. None of them made it. In fact, the only interior offensive line depth guy we have is J.C. Hasenauer. So there's like almost no interior offensive line depth, which is odd. And I'm going to add Quincy Roche into there because he was the 6th-round pick for the Steelers out of Miami. It sucks to see him go. Not really a fan of it. I would have kept 5
outside linebackers, edge rushers.
Right. But I'm sure he'll make the practice squad. Hopefully he clears waivers. I'm sure the Steelers like him a lot. And even defensive backs Mark Gilbert and Arthur Millette. So far, we only have 4 corners on the roster. 4. So a move is definitely inevitable.
It has to be, in the making.
Either they sign someone or trade for somebody. There are a few guys on the waiver wire right now. The Washington football team released
Jimmy Moreland, I think that's his name.
Which is a very experienced slot guy who the Steelers could definitely pick up and work in the slot there, potentially. There's rumors that Kevin Colbert has reached out to the Broncos. Many teams have, but I would imagine Colbert's evolving there. The Broncos are interested in trading some of their corners because they have a deep corner class. I vouch for Bryce Callahan.
I think Bryce Callahan would be a great addition to this defense and the cornerback group.
Arguably the best slot corner in the league coming into a contract year. I'm sure he has some, ability to be traded or reason to be traded.
Yeah.
But getting into the actual 53-man roster, we're going to start with quarterback all the way down to special teams as usual. The quarterbacks that made it were Mason Rudolph, Dwayne Haskins, and, of course, Ben Roethlisberger. Haskins made it as the number 3. Running back / fullback, Najee Harris, Benny Snell, Anthony McFarland, Kalen Ballage, and Derek Watt. Again, I don't understand why Snell made the roster. I don't know why you need a 4th running back.
I honestly think it's quite unnecessary. I mean, you drafted Najee Harris to be your bell cow power back. So
why do you need 4 running backs? Honestly,
I don't get it.
I feel like, because I don't see Ballage being the 4th guy. It'd have to be Snell, right? I mean, granted, it might be Snell just due to his experience and the fact that Tomlin loves his Benny Snell football. But after seeing what Ballage did in the preseason,
no, I want to put him down the depth chart even further. I will not do that.
No,
considering how much Ballage stepped up when Snell was out, I mean. Good, he made the roster. Good, but I would put him up as the 3rd running back.
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
if I'm gonna be real with you, man, what does Snell offer that Ballage doesn't? Truthfully,
I mean, it's crazy because we were Benny Snell fans. We
Yes.
liked him so much coming out of Kentucky. We were at Heinz Field in line waiting to meet
Rocky Blyer,
and we looked at the TV screen and we saw Benny Snell get drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we got excited. We got pumped because we like Benny Snell coming out of Kentucky.
But truthfully, I mean, why is Benny Snell? I feel like that's a waste of a roster spot. That could have went to interior offensive line depth, to corner depth, to edge depth. Wide receivers: Chase Claypool, James Washington, Ray McLeod, Deontay Johnson, and Juju Smith-Schuster, who is getting a lot of controversy because of the milk crate challenge. Same 5 guys from last year.
Yeah.
Moving on. Tight end, Zach Gentry, who made it over Kevin Rader, which kind of surprises me, but Gentry did improve a lot from his first 2 years. So Gentry, Eric Ebron, and Pratt Freiermuth. As expected.
As expected.
O-line, Trey Turner, Kendrick Green, J.C. Hasenauer, Dan Moore Jr., Kevin Dotson, Joe Hegg, Zach Banner, and Chuck Wooma-Okorafor. Now, again, only 1 interior offensive line depth, which is J.C. Hasenauer. And I'm going to assume the reason why they only have 1 for now is because they also still like Joe Hegg's versatility. Because not only can he be a swing tackle, he has experience starting at guard before.
Yeah, that is true.
The only thing with Hegg is he's not good anywhere on the field. He's very lackluster depth, but he's depth nonetheless.
Yeah. He's that versatile piece that the Steelers really like in their offensive linemen.
And the Steelers are trying to work Dan Moore into a swing tackle role, which I don't understand. I'd focus him primarily on that left side because the whole thing with Chucks is up in the air still.
Yeah, it is.
But the fact that they're trying to get Dan Moore as a swing tackle, I think they really like Hegg's versatility. Maybe it's something they explore or something they're comfortable with.
But that's the offense. Now on to the defense. We're going to start with the defensive line.
Which is stacked, but for possible good reason. Carlos Davis, Stephon Tuitt, Isaiah Loudermilk, Tyson Alualu, Chris Wormley, Isaiah Buggs, Cameron Hayward, and even Henry Mondu. 8 defensive linemen. But the reason being is because there's reports going around that Stephon Tuitt could very well hit IR, which means he'd be out of action for anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. So all the reports that Tuitt may not play week 1 at Buffalo may be true. And that's why they kept 8 guys, because they're planning to put Tuitt on IR due to his injury, which is a hell of a lot more severe because he hasn't played or practiced
all summer,
which is why they kept a guy like Henry Mondu as extra depth. Who would step in? I would assume it would be Chris Wormley.
I mean, he's the primary backup, really.
But
I mean, he's why we traded for him last offseason.
Right. But if Tuitt were to go on IR, which I think we can all expect at this point since it's being reported, that would leave a spot for the 53. Now, when Tuitt gets back, obviously they'd have to cut somebody to make room for Tuitt, but the fact that Tuitt will go on IR means there will be room for the 53, for them to add players, for them to claim guys on waiver or make trades.
Yeah.
I'll add that there. Linebacker, Melvin Ingram III, Marcus Allen, Robert Spillane, Jameer Jones made it, which I'm very glad to see. Balled out all camp, all preseason.
He busted his ass after showing off at a pro day that Steelers attended. They signed him up after being an undrafted free agent from last year.
Yep.
And he busted his ass this entire offseason. Training camp, preseason, he showed up.
And he's going to be the 4th outside linebacker and work primarily special teams. So good on Jameer Jones, man. Definitely deserved it. Joe Schobert, Buddy Johnson, Ulysses Gilbert III, Devin Bush, Alex Highsmith, and, of course, T.J. Watt, who needs to get paid.
He will
I'm
get
getting
paid.
very impatient.
I get it. I know, but he will get paid.
But one name that's very shocking to see that made the roster, made that linebacker list, was Ulysses Gilbert III. I actually didn't think he would have made it.
Neither did I.
He had a pretty odd.
I'd say an up
Camp.
and down camp.
Yeah.
Up and down preseason.
Defensive back: Cameron Sutton, Trey Turner, Joe Hayden, Miles Killebrew, Justin Lane, Terrell Edmonds, Minka Fitzpatrick, and James Pierre. Again, only 4 corners.
Now, there's bound to be a move to happen.
It's inevitable.
We're not sticking with 4 all season.
It is inevitable. But the fact that they gave us spots for Benny Snell and even Ulysses Gilbert III, but they couldn't make room for an Arthur Millette or a Mark Gilbert, which is odd. Millette's a veteran, and honestly, outside of Sutton, he's the only other guy that knows how to work the slot. He was working second team reps when camp first started behind Antoine Brooks, who may get signed back to the practice squad.
Right.
But there's almost zero a slot guy
option, really,
or depth.
No,
it's only
there's
Sutton.
And again, that goes to show that the move is bound to happen. Maybe they do like someone that is a possible, trade option for us to get, or someone in free agency.
Right.
There's got to be something. Something will happen. And the fact that Millette, considering that he is a somewhat dependable slot cornerback option, didn't make the team, that goes to show they probably have their eyes set on somebody else.
They have to. They got to put a waiver claim in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the Steelers do. And, of course, special teams, Presley Harvin III, thick boy, Chris Boswell, and Christian Kuntz. So, new punter, new long snapper, but the same kicker, Chris Boswell. So
a different look at special teams, and I kind of like it.
But that is the initial 53-man roster, man. Again, the initial 53-man roster is never the actual 53-man roster going into week 1. There will be moves. They will sign some guys. Again, it could be a Jimmy Moreland who they could put a waiver claim on. He will be ready come week 1, even though he does have an injury. It could be, I don't know, maybe they pick up Sean Davis again, who got cut by I forget what team.
I'm not really all for that. I'm more for getting Carl Joseph since he got cut.
That's true.
By the Raiders.
Great
and they've shown a lot of interest in him dating back to when he was a rookie.
Right.
When they brought him in for a pre-draft visit.
Definitely. So, I think we can all expect Colbert and the Steelers to still make some moves, whether that's putting Tuitt on IR, making a move at corner, releasing a few other guys, because, again, the initial 53 is not always the actual 53 going into week 1.
Yeah, all this was done, but we still got a lot of stuff to do until we meet up with Buffalo week 1.
So in the coming days and the next week or so, we can definitely expect some moves. It's going to be interesting to see what they do.
No doubt.
Especially at that corner position. And maybe even O-line, because that interior offensive line depth is very, very slim. It's odd they only kept one primary interior offensive line depth.
Anyway, guys, that is the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know your guys' opinions and thoughts down in the comments below. That is the 53-man roster.
The initial 53-man roster. We'll see what Colbert does in the next coming days and next week. But, that is it, man. That is the 53, and the regular season is upon us. Now we can primarily focus on the regular season, on week 1, on Buffalo.
Indeed.
That's very awesome to say because, man, it feels good to see that football is officially back.
I'm pumped, man. I'm excited.
I think we all should be, man. But let us know your guys' thoughts down below, and see you guys in the next one.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!